Hey, good morning, everybody. It is time for our regularly scheduled Wednesday art stream. This is Allie, art lead on Stonehearth, and this is Stonehearth dev stream number 230, in which we will be tackling a few tier 2 quest items. So, wait, that's wrong. I hit the wrong button. So thanks everybody for joining us today. And let's get started here. Oh, for a minute I was wondering. I didn't see the... Yay! Zilla 2019. Good morning. And good morning, Kanaxo and Sarandaries, and Dougal Dude. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. It's always weird, before I see you guys in the chat, I have this awkward moment of like, I am talking to myself. This is cool. Alright, good morning Relis, and Freedom 2. Yeah, let's get cracking. So this is fun. This is kind of a, this is a task that Linda has tasked us with, to put that in a completely ineloquent way. Because Raya's Children is getting their tier 2, which means they're getting tier 2 things, which means they are getting tier 2 quests, which means they need a couple of special thingamabobs with which to go on said quest, or fulfill said quest. Hey, good morning, Mally, and Derp to Turtle. Wow, you've got that bright neon green today, and man, is it hard to see. Morning or afternoon. Yes, indeed. Yes, tier 2 quest items, Sarandaries. This should be fun. So this means, because they're themed to particular quests and of course to particular monuments, I thought it would be really fun to give you guys a sneak peek of our monuments. I should have snagged the concept art. It's still on my computer. Forgive me, I'm a little discombobulated this morning, but hopefully this will be okay. So, sneak peek time. What's in here? Oh, those are paintovers. This is fine. Alright. And ta-da! Wait, we don't want that. We want to be able to see you guys. Tier 2 quest items. So similar to our Ascendancy tier 2 quest items, these take the form of some kind of monument that you can place into your town as a big, cool visual indicator that, yes, you've done it! You've ascended to tier 2 and it's awesome. Ascendancy has stone and wood and water, whereas the Raya's Children have clay and pottery and tapestry and gold and fire. So these will be like burning beds of coal with embers, and like this one here is gonna have like pretty glowing stuff like under the bottom when we figure out how that's gonna work. So yeah, over here we have the kind of a local trade statue made out of a cute conglomeration of neatly glazed pots. In the center we have the quest for trading in secrets. So this is more associated with the more like Raya's Children mysticism side of things, and it features none other than a monkey. Monkeys! With a key on his tail. And he's sitting on a box with something secret in it. And over here we have our more like exotic trades, like trading with people coming in and bringing in things that you can't produce in your own town. And this one here is featuring like an array of neatly decorated, beautiful, rich tapestries. And the focus here is squarely on like this lifted up, super open, pit of coals, which is super cool. Oh wait, what do we got here? Oh yeah, scorpions. Yeah, actually, Bookshield, as a matter of fact, we have a doodle of a scorpion that would make for a pretty cool thing. Yeah. So our desert is currently devoid of any kind of reptile or bug, and that just doesn't seem to fit. So we will hopefully be rectifying that. But for now, we've busted these out, and they were super fun to make, and I'm super happy to actually see them materialize. There's always this kind of like this neat like, yay! And it's really fun to be able to share these with you guys. Yay! Alrighty, so we have mostly got what we need for these quests, but got my list. Let me find my list. We have been asked to create 2 new kinds of flowers to hopefully create dye from for our yellow and orange tapestries here. And one of them Linda has termed the fox lily, which I think is super adorable, so we're gonna work on that. And the yellow one, I don't have a name written down, so I think we might be working on that one. And we also need to come up with some kind of ancient tomes type situation, or maybe a scroll, which I thought would be kind of cool for the monkey shrine. Hey Rock Raid! Oh no, the Wi-Fi in this hotel is really bad. Oh, well, thanks for joining us anyway. And thanks so much. These were super fun to make. Yeah. So, why don't we get cracking on the flowers, since that's going to be kind of a nice, something a little, oh gosh, this is not my computer, where are we? Data, mods, Stonehearth, yes, I'm getting better at that. But I think the flowers would be a nice place to start to just kind of get us rolling, because we already have some flowers established, but I don't want to just recolor those. I want to give them a little bit of a difference, because bright bells and frost snaps are native to the forest biome, and I would believe that their environment would give them some features to their shape. So maybe we can do a few things to our desert biome plants to make them feel specific to where they go. All right, where do you live? Farming? No. Plants is probably better. Yes, we did it. Let's grab us a bright bell. Is this importing, or is it just gonna do the thing? It's probably just gonna do the thing. Did I do good? I did not do good. All right. Can figure this out. Let me borrow this. Wait, no, not that. That. Import. Easy peasy. And lo, there be flowers. Rock Raid is asking, so these are the Riot's Children equivalents of the town level up thingies from the Ascendancy. Yes, they are. What are the crafting requirements? At the moment, oh hey, there's no flowers on this bright. Well, fine, we'll figure that out. I'm not 100% sure what all the crafting requirements are, but I do know that we will need at least 2 new flowers for this guy over here on the right, and some kind of secret tome or scroll for our friend here in the middle. Monkey with a key and a big loopy tail. Import. Harvested is probably why I clicked on it. Yay, flowers are here. Now I do believe that the frost snap looks pretty similar, if not identical. Basically, there's a small difference. Alrighty. Yeah, they should definitely have their own situation going on. Alright. Good morning, Mel Lopez. And good morning, Sarandaries. Yeah, well, these are more, I'm gonna share this with the class. This is more along the lines of, like, our flowering cacti. Because they already have, like, cute little flower things, and I feel like they need, they could use yellow variations and things like that. But we also need a yellow flower, and that's pretty magnificent. Let's grab us. I've got some references for stuff like this on my other computer because I've actually been sort of doing stuff like this, related, unrelated. Oh yeah, these are poppies, aren't they? Yeah, these are poppies. Ooh, that's pretty. This, I feel like, would translate poorly into minuscule voxels, but I like the way this looks. Oh man, the purple is awesome. We should have done a purple banner, but I don't think it looked as good. The banners were actually really hard to coordinate. I tried a bunch of different colorways, and many of them just kind of came off looking like Mardi Gras. Yes. Neat. Aw, cutie. That's a good friend. Oh, this is cool. This is a good rock. Neat. Alright. So we don't really see anything too terribly shocking about the shapes of flowers in the desert. They tend to have like this shrubby business going on with their bottoms, or a cactus underneath them, but I feel like the cactus is really distinct. I mean, we could mess with that, and we might not. And also, I'm not sure if these are things that we want to find these growing native in the desert, and then you have to trade for the fancy the flowers that are not indigenous, or maybe vice versa. So let's grab ye old doodle pad and pull open our good friend Adobe Photoshop. There's an orange flower as well as... Oh yeah, this big old cone flower. Is this, this wouldn't be, is that a variation on the... Hang on a minute, I'm gonna like Google this over here in case this produces really weird stuff. Okay, no. Oh wait, maybe. I was wondering if that might be a type of foxglove, but like not in its, yeah, I think so. Is that? Well, they might be relatives. It just reminded me of it, I guess. Foxgloves would actually be pretty neat. But again, there is the issue of it like actually translating, because our current voxel density is not incredibly kind about things with lots and lots and lots of detail. It just winds up looking like brittle or bumpy. But that's okay. We can make it work. Boop. Oh, I can name it up here. So let's just name it flowers. And go. Hey, DDoS-taker. And thank you. And as always, if I completely butcher your guys' names in my attempt to pronounce them, you may absolutely tell me how they are supposed to be pronounced. Oh hey, I don't have my... Oh, right. What am I doing? This is the streaming computer. I should upload my brushes to this computer, because I like sketching with this one. It feels nicer to do that. Must be careful. Can't just go clicking around on Winders. Alright, so let's just keep it kind of loosey-goosey here. Our current flowers have this sort of leafy things on the bottom. We're implying a stem. And then like little flowery guys on top like this. Cool. I've always wanted to do things like where we like create the base and then we have like the flowers like floating above it. Because I feel like given the angle that you would see that at, it could be pretty successful. Or at least like one little green thing to it, so there'd be a little space between it, but it would still like connect visually, and then maybe you could have the leaves rise up. It's just a thought. Yeah. Alright, so we're not gonna spend too much time here. Right now we're just like blocking in like ideas for shapes and things like that, so. So desert plants can be shrubby. So I'm envisioning like some kind of a rounded cube with we would use coloration to indicate, maybe like stick some things out of it, like loose particles, and then like have flowers on it, but they might look like berries if we do it like that, so that might not be so good of an idea. Or we could keep it simple, since this is sort of our symbol for flower anyway. Have like our base, and we do have those cone guys there that would be totally cool to look at. So I would envision that we would do like something like this to imitate that, and maybe if we're really clever with it, this might actually be too big, but if we're really clever with it, maybe we can color this in a way that sort of imitates the color shift found in the link that Sarandary's shared, and in stuff like this. We would have 4 levels if we went with something like this. what does the base of this plant look like? I mean, we don't really need this to be completely realistic and accurate. That's not really the point. But in essence, this flower would be sort of an homage to this plant. I wish we could do sunflowers. That would be so cool. I'm not sure that that is a thing that we would find out here. Might just mock one up for funsies. Hey, there we go. Oh, that's a big bush plant. Interesting. There's a good dog in this picture. It appears to be interspersed with a variety of ferns, and definitely in an environment most unlike what we were shooting for. Let's check out that link one more time. This one appears to be stuck in some kind of a succulent, which I already know is actually really hard to model. But it's possible we do something similar. You really run into a lot of issues when you start trying to create like shapes like this, because if you model that out in voxels, as many of you I'm sure know, you get like something like this. It doesn't feel very good. It's just kind of like so. What we want to do is find a way to just kind of cutely imply that. So there's an idea. This would be in the background, so I'm going to do a little hatching on it. The more I look at this, the more I'm like, what is happening here? It's like a soapy sponge, or... But I feel like also, with this being such an... I don't know, it's such a showy shape, and the colors would be so showy that I feel like we don't really need the base to do anything too incredibly crazy or competitive. Oops. No. Okay. Up. There we go. Stick that right there. Paste it one more time. Maybe have it sticking up a little bit higher. That would be an interesting solution. I feel like we should also do like more than one. So maybe at least 2. Yeah. Rockraid is asking, I just saw the Desktop Tuesday about edges of the map. The idea seems to be getting very thought out. I really like it. Have you progressed the idea crafting further? A little bit. It hasn't progressed too much since the latest Desktop Tuesday about the Edge of the World studies. But the edge of the map and the storybook seem to be very appealing themes so far, and I think they kind of have the correct sort of vibe that we're looking for. But at the moment, those remain mostly in the concepting phase. We're all currently working on other features, and so these are definitely kind of early to the party. And the reason that's important is to give people a lot of time to think on it. Especially when we're asking for things that we haven't currently seen in the game yet. It gives parties time to kind of jam on that and figure out how it is they would sort of figure all that out, and it also gives us time to like see if these solutions, while very appealing, actually do kind of like fit with Stonehearth in a more polished state, which I think they do. I'm not too worried about that, but it's important to consider it. But I'm really glad that people have been responding really well to those. They were really fun to make. And oh hey, what if we stacked them? Give them like a little rosy state. I really want to put rose rocks in the desert, but I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm really glad that people have responded so warmly to those concepts. So I think that if anything is an indicator that they would be pretty well fit. But the short answer is we have not taken them much further than that. And at the moment, I'm currently tearing into the broader aspects of the desert biome. So perhaps in the near future, you guys will get a sneak peek of a whole lot of sketches about cool looking trees and rocks and things like that that are going to start helping our biomes feel more realized. Let's see. Surrender says shared another link. Oh! Oh, that's so cute. This is a really happy looking plant. Like it's got it could have like a stalk and then like a big like flower on it. That's a sound effect, not a visual descriptor, but I hope you understand how that translates. Too bad you can't have crystal geodes. They'd make a lovely feature. Actually, Surrender is what I was just talking about. Is sort of related to that, whether it would be a mineable item, though in my mind I thought, I don't know how many of you guys actually know what a rose rock is. I kind of grew up with these because I have my grandmother from Oklahoma. But these guys are fabulous, and I thought it would be really cool to scatter these maybe near some landscape features, or maybe just rarely out and about, and when you harvest them you get chunks of clay. But yeah, these are natural formations of barite crystals, and they look like roses. And they are super cool, and I have always loved them. And I thought it would be just kind of a strange thing to encounter. But yeah, types of, that's actually very close to what it is we've been jamming on the most lately, or like, what are like small details that, small to very large in fact, because some of these things encompass the scale of like land features, as in like canyons and arches and things like that, but even small features that just make the world feel more lush and less like everything is just very, is like, it's good that everything has a purpose, but you want to feel like the world also has an agenda as to why it's put together, and that gives it a sense of mystery and a sense of place. Salaroth is saying, is this for the Rise Children monuments? Yes, absolutely. So we have been tasked with coming up with 2 new flowers and some kind of tome, and right now we're digging into some shape language and ideation on some flowers that would be in the desert. Here we have our examples of our Ascendancy flowers, and I get the impression looking at their models that they're light and leafy, so we're trying to come up with things that feel very deserty. Yay, Salaroth grew up in New Mexico and Oklahoma. Yeah, I spent a lot of time in central Oklahoma with my grandparents, and it can be very plain out there, but I also think it's very beautiful. Let's see, Surrender says, maybe that's how you can get glass into the game. Rise Children acquire it from the desert and refine it into powders that can be fired. Maybe that's something the Ascendancy has to trade, whereas Rise can just natively acquire it. Exactly. Concepts like that are very powerful, and they make the world feel connected and vibrant. This is out of scale, I'm sure. It's also too complicated. I feel like we don't need to go that far. We can indicate that just by alternating colors around the cube, just to give it a cool like plant base. Also, as you can see, none of these forms actually need to be connected, as long as they exist in the matrix together and that they're visually cohesive. Alright, so I think this has promise, and Sarandri shared that really funny flower. The yellow agave. Oh, it's an agave plant, really? I didn't know they looked like that. Ooh. Alright, so shapes like this might be a little hard to pull off, but maybe we can fake something like it. There's also, I know the yellow poppies would be very cute, but perhaps not incredibly distinct of the biome. Desert flowers. Oh, that's really fun. That could be really cool. We've also got stuff like this. I think color is going to be really important here. Oh, Joshua trees. Those are so weird. They're weird. Oh, this looks like fire. That's beautiful. You know, that's an idea too, like a stem with flowers trailing up. Though, again, in voxels, that might just wind up looking like a Play-Doh snake. Magnetic flying rocks! Yeah, like Sarandri was just saying, like the main stem and flowers floating around it. Man, the delay must be really short today. Let's check on that. No? No, it's about normal. Boop ba-doop doop, ba-doop doop. Have some stuck to it. We could also fudge the scale a little bit, like when we import the model, we could make it a little bit smaller. Oh, that could be cute. I like this idea. Give a little leafy guys just kind of stick out the bottom. We may have to fudge the scale to make this look not super chunky, or maybe come up with a version of it that could be super chunky. Though I don't think it would read quite as well. It might. Maybe. We'll see. So yeah, that's another really good idea. Yeah. And that's also a good point. From what I've seen in the desert, you get delicate flowers in large thorny bushes, or weird succulent flowers on large plump bushes, stuff like that. Tayloon says, I'm probably definitely murdering your name, says, flying rocks make me dream about flying castles. I want one. Or traders coming in with flying trade ships. I think cute little like air blimps would be a really, really cute means of travel. Like, they'd be really wee. So here would be like, just for size reference, here's like your cottage, and then here's like a little trade blimp from a distant land with a bucket underneath it that a Hearthling can ride in. Doop, 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 doop. Would have little wingers, maybe a little landing gear. So it's sort of like a barely steerable hot air balloon. I'm a little afraid of hot air balloons, actually. Thorns sound very difficult to model, though, when the model itself is little more than 20 voxels tall, says Rockgrade. It can be, actually. It can be. Calm your imagination, guys. We're talking about flowers. Yeah. Though I will not, again, I do want to reiterate that if something like that were to appear in the game, it would not be for quite some time. But it might be fun, though. I mean, maybe someday you'd have like a class kind of devoted to creating like modes of transport that are quicker and more better for exploring the broader reaches of your map. I'm just gonna quickly sketch out a sunflower because I'm very obsessed with them. This is my favorite flower ever. Yay, it's happy. Hello. Also, it would have to be really tall because sunflowers are really tall. We grew them once. It was amazing. They reached up all the way to my window. Stonehearth, that means a lot. We're working on making it absolutely the best thing that we can. But I'm so glad to hear that you're enjoying what we've made so far. The last tall one gets my vote. Oh, you talking about our sunflower? This would be fun because we would have actually like space to mess with like maybe a small color gradient in there. And it feels different, like it feels distinct from the Ascendancy flowers. And also distinct from our little cactus flowers, which, you know, we do like this little cactus guy. Wait, no, it needs a broader face than that. The cacti in game do not have faces, but wherever possible I tend to draw faces on things. Or turn them into creatures. Yay. Can we get some flowers that glow in the dark, says Taylon? Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Like, you would have like little glowing flowers in pots. Things that glow even though you don't expect them to are one of those things that just like, it makes me so happy. Maybe someday. Phosphorescent flowers that like, you find them in caves and things like that. It'd be so magical. Oh no, I'm sorry you have so much delay, Matt Lopez. Let's see. Sunflowers everywhere in the desert fridges. And they're very, very yellow. They can also be orange, but we're gonna go for two varieties. And it would look really cute growing in a pot, because Linda did request that we have some equivalent to like window boxes for the Ascendancy as well, and I kind of think, when I think of like cool Rise Children houses, I think of their amazing expansive porches, not really so much of like windows that you hang window boxes in. So I think having like urns and things for potted plants and potted cactuses that you lay out on these magnificent porches, or just like around the base of them, would be really, really satisfying to see. A glowing winter wonderland, yes, yes. Like sparkly stars, sparkly snow, sparkly lights in the sky. Everything is sparkly. Winter is absurdly sparkly. From any of you who experience winter in its true form, it was my favorite when I was in Minnesota. I never knew, because I spent time in the middle of Oklahoma. I grew up mostly in the southernmost south of the United States, and so things like really snowy winters were stuff that you'd see on like holiday postcards and TV shows, and we'd never encountered that before. And even when we'd visited the middle of Oklahoma in the wintertime, Oklahoma tends to be more of a land of extremes, not really a land of like fluffy snow. It just goes from like 120 degrees to ice hell. It's just ice. It's like 2 feet of ice on everything. There's no snow. I don't know how it happens. It just does. But when I went to school, it was in the very northernmost part of the United States, in kind of in the middle of Minnesota, and my first winter, it like blew my mind just how shiny and sparkly everything was, and I just wanted to stay outside despite the obvious danger of freezing to death. Alright, let's get us a matrix. I'm gonna steal our bright bell. Let's go about, I don't know, let's give this little guy a try. I do love this idea, but this has like that sturdy chubbiness to it that I think works really well for Stonehearth, and this is going to be our fox lily. Yeah, that's true, Glucky. That with the sparkly also comes the darkness, and that's very hard to bear. And no kidding, Solarath, it's so dangerous. Like you don't even know you're driving on ice half the time, and your car starts slipping out from under you. There's a lot of sun in the desert. And yeah, actually, what Rockraid is saying, you don't know Germany, our winters are usually called rain, the season. So yeah, in South Louisiana, we basically just had like summer, rain, pseudo-summer, and then summer. Rain. A lot of rain, actually, all the time. Let's modify the size of our matrix to be a bit larger. So we've got some... Wow, that's really big! We don't need it that big! We've got a little wiggle room. This is way over tall, but I figure we can always bring it back in. And you know what? Let's really max this out. There we go. Good morning, Moobot. Glowing crystals, yes. Yeah, Left for Dave. Louisiana does not know much in the way of snow. In fact, when snow does happen, people tend to flip out and drive like maniacs. It's really, really something. Alright, so we got us too many bright bells here. Let's get rid of them. Oops. Oh, I guess it's still set to contiguous. So that's fine. You know what? We're gonna do it like this anyway. Oh, thank you for that. I didn't want that. Boop. That's the wrong hotkey again. There we are. Cut off its stem a little bit, make it feel fluffier, I think. Less That's too steppy. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Well, maybe. That probably feels too busy. busy. More plants! Yes! Always more plants. Snow, will we be able to craft snowmans? And maybe you can sell them to traders as jokes? Maybe so. That is an old joke. Hey, you wanna buy a snowman? Oh my gosh. I think that it would be a crying shame if we had a snow biome and no means of snowmans. We simply, that simply wouldn't do. That might be okay. Color's gonna make a big difference. Small to big, to medium from top to bottom. Yep, that's the idea. Let's actually duplicate this shape out, because we can. There's tons of room in here. Yeah, so we're looking for an analog to our inspiration, but we're not looking necessarily to duplicate it exactly. Voxels do kind of give us some limitations that we have to consider, especially because of the scale that we work at. So yeah, you can see that if we want it to be centered, that sort of restricts us to working in threes, but we don't necessarily have to be centered. And we might get a little more freedom if we work like this. Problem is, getting a middle in there starts to get kind of tricky. Can't we just have it every way? Of course not. Yeah, and the more things like this we do, the busier it's gonna start reading. And that's not always good. I mean, you can already see from a distance that doesn't... This, while possibly more realistic, doesn't feel as like immediately like whole and easy to process as something with fewer shapes in a simpler orientation. So yeah, I think since we're trying to go bigger, we want to stick with the odd numbers. But if we did maybe like this, maybe that'll get us somewhere. That's kind of cute. For a super short version. Maybe we can play with a version that just doesn't have the intermediaries. Come over here. No, excuse you. Thank you. No! Sadness and despair. There we go. We just straight up stack them. Taylor says, will the game stay simple, or do we have to harvest farm roses someday to get red color in order to produce colored banners and stuff? I think some things would be a given, but then for some special items, maybe someday you would want to do something kind of special to produce them. But I don't know. It's always kind of feels like there's a tug of war between how to make it more realistic, but how to keep it like not a miserable experience to play. Personally, I think it would be kind of cool if for like certain special things you had to go a little bit of an extra mile. Not so far as to like destroy your life trying. That might feel too brittle. That looks like a pine cone. Yeah, it looks like a pine cone. I want to dye my sheep purple! How does it look with the middle large circle on the middle of each side removed? Middle large circle. So like this. I hope that's how you mean. This might look a little bit too steppy. Yeah, it kind of looks like a grenade a little bit. I think the shape on this side is still stronger by comparison. What if we did like that though? Like filled in the petals on the sides. Because it's not a bad way to go really. Like raise that up a little bit. Maybe pop one in here. Oh, that's gonna get really busy. Actually, that's not so bad. It is kind of steppy though. What if you took the first one and what if you took the first one and doubled its height? No, it can't be this color. Absolutely. That's not a bad idea. Let's see. Wait. We want to preserve this one just in case. Feels very, very big. There's a couple versions of this that I want to mess with. Though maybe once we start playing with color, that's going to help a lot. I do worry about just how busy overall it is. Like again, this one is far less representational, but just like at a glance, it's like, oh, it's a weird stacky flower. Whereas this one is like, I feel like it's in danger of trying too hard. So I wanted to knock out its middle a little bit and see what happened. Oh, how did that happen? Goodness, gravy. There you go. That might wind up just feeling really brittle. Oh, maybe not. Who knows? It's gonna get hard to see. Oh, that's kind of fun. Actually, that looks really petally. Oh, petal. It looks petal-like. Let's try that instead. Boop. It's getting a little busy in there, so let's subtract one of these. Wait, that was not correct. Here we go. Let's subtract one of these. Take two. There we go. Yeah, that's not so bad. Yeah, we will definitely be playing with colors. I would like to do a gradient from like a russet red to kind of a fiery orange. And since we've got these little 4 squares in here, we might be able to even like dot the centers with something a little bit lighter. That's a cool flower. Yeah. I wanna, maybe if we give it a friend and make it like 1 tier lighter. Not lighter, taller. Taller is what I meant to say. And now the smiley face cactus. We had a creation come up along those lines actually, but I think I'll wait to share that with you until we have the doodle. Well, that went better than expected. Maybe it's too much when it's that tall. I don't know. This is fun though. I like this shape. Raya has smiley face. Cacti for Halloween. Yeah, they hollow them out and they're woody plants. Maybe you could do that. Or just make smiley pots. Alright, so these colors are horrendous. Please stand by. The bases, since these are so busy, we want to keep the bases pretty simple. Otherwise, you wouldn't know what to look at. Let's mess with their orientation a little bit. Hi, Eldred. Let's see. Also, I feel like the shade of green is really wrong. Like, we want a bit more of a warmer, maybe more of a sagier green, but we're not going to worry too much about the color just yet. Right now, we're more worried about shape. And getting Cubicle to listen to us, which it does not always do. Tayloon supports the Halloween cacti. Make it a thing someday, please. I believe in tall cacti. Cacti, pumpkin carving, cacto-lanterns, I don't know. Oh, that's why it's not centered. Give me you. Could not figure out what was happening there. Ah, yes. The centering argument. I think this is the center. Yeah, that looks like the center. This is just the beginnings of a base. And it is definitely too big. But it helps to have something that we can kind of carve into. I like the idea better of putting it like that. It's interesting for a start. We will change the colors, don't worry. They're not gonna be pink. That would be completely irrelevant. This is like a mutated Bright Bell at the moment. I don't feel like it needs a stem, necessarily. Might just be too busy. Click, click, click. Just trying to give it just a bit more base, and we can change the colors in these to make them feel like leaves stacked up. But again, we don't want it to be in too much competition with the flowers on top. Oop. Can't do that. Can do that. Sort of. That actually feels a bit more sturdy, but it's not centered. Of course it's not centered. Why would it be? Because that's the center. That would only work if we had gone with an... I getcha. So never fear, we will not be deploying bright pink flowers into the desert. There's simply no reason to resort to such drastic measures. There's kind of a leafy base. Can always go more. Okay, we don't want to create anything that's going to be too busy or distracting. Actually, I think I like something along those lines, because it kind of supports the theme of the shape. And it doesn't compete too much. There we go. Doesn't compete too much. Give it a little more height than that, I think. That could be kind of cool. Alley-oop. The desert has tall flowers, and it's exciting. That might be too much. Yeah, it's too much. That doesn't feel very good. Well, maybe. I mean, we haven't messed with the colors at all yet, and it's possible that we can make something like that work. Oh, hey, there's also that. I forgot. We can actually, like, nip off parts of it to feel like little leafies. It doesn't have to just be perfectly symmetrical all around. Okay, you're sticking out that way. So let's see if we can do like a little petal dance here. Yeah. Yeah. That's cute. Friendship. Feeling bad about that. Boop. Actually, really quick. Let me sneak in here. Grab this. The flower looks almost real. Now we need to know, would it smell sweet? Maybe. I don't know. Alright. That's really pretty. I feel like it does feel busy though. Like, still when I see this kind of shape feels a bit more in tune. I mean, actually, let me get rid of its predecessors over here. That way we're not too distracted when I indicate where we want to go. Wait, no! I knew I did. There we go. Like, this kind of shape is definitely more elegant and more refined, but I almost feel like this kind of shape works better with Stonehearth. Also, this is feeling really tight again. Oops. Oh, wait, no, that's right. Yeah, some flowers do smell really bad. Really, really bad. Bloop. Yeah, that is an idea. Surrenderies is suggesting, what if we take the small one and put it with the other two? I would wonder if this little guy doesn't feel too simplified next to the other ones. Uh-oh. Oh. Is that right? Oh, it's floating. What are you doing up there, friend? Down on the ground, please. We would definitely have to change their colors because they would all blend in if they were, if it was like this. Hey, Sophia Chaos, thanks for joining us today. And thank you very much. It is absolutely a pleasure. We wanna... Oh no, they're touching! Ah, oh, it's awful! Tangent. Kill it with fire. Scooch you in. Oh my god, flowers! Maybe if... You know, I think part of the problem is we're getting to the point where we really do need to see some color to understand what's happening. Maybe we need to get rid of these tops. Like, maybe that's what's doing it. Let's see if we break it. Nah, it just kind of looks like a weird stack. That's awesome, Taylor, and I'm really, really glad. Is that a cactus with a hat in the sketch? It is a cactus with a good flower hat. Here I'll do this for anyone who happens to glimpse our buddy over here. Small rabbit trail. Just to do little warm yellow, warm green. You know, I think my need to add sound effects to Adobe Photoshop stems from a history of Mario Paint, in which all the tools made a sound. Which is probably the best. You like pick out your clear palette tool and like this little guy comes out and does a dance while your palette clears. I think that was the paintbrush actually. You'd use the paintbrush to fill everything up, and the paintbrush would like do this funny little dance, and it would play a sound effect while it would like fill the whole screen with stuff. This has nothing to do with anything, but it's exciting nonetheless. We are indulging a cute distraction. You know what? Let's make this little guy a yellow one. Since we're dealing with yellow flowers today, it's thematic. It's thematic to our purposes. He's so cute. Little dude in the middle. Make his face just a touch more pronounced. Yay! Cactus friend! Now we have a driving buddy. Yay! Awesome. Alright, you know, okay, I think maybe these flowers will do. We can always drop them into the desert later on and see if they look too busy with everything else. And if they do, I do think this little guy over here is a plenty valid fallback. It's also possible that maybe we just fill these in. It doesn't really feel as good since these have so much more definition. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, let's do something about that color scheme, because heaven knows this is not where we need to be. We need something orangey, because this is our we need plushies someday. Let's make the game and then worry about plushies. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm excited for the day. All right. So this is our would-be fox lilies. And I don't want to keep grabbing the wrong one. So maybe, yeah, it'll be all right. We'll make it work. So we would like to imply some kind of a gradient situation, which is a lot of fun. It can be a bit tedious, but there's really no easy way to do it in Cubicle except for by hand, which is fine. We can make that work. The main thing is we want to make sure that the colors we're starting with are in the neighborhood of where we want to wind up. Also, we don't want to take steps that are too big, because we're going to rely a lot on optical blending to do the work for us. So when you see these, they have depth and dimension, and they just have that like beautiful like color shift feel to them. Oh, see ya, Sir Andres, thanks for all your help. Alrighty, what if we do like that? No, I liked it better with the, that's too even. So that's the other battle with faking a gradient, is that you can't have the steps too even or it just looks like bands of color. And you can't have them too far apart because they just look like bands of color. But something like this kind of has that feeling of like an orange glow. And we can also start playing with this. That's going to be too big of a difference, probably. With objects this small, subtlety is key. That stem in the middle also needs some kind of a situation, so maybe we could continue the darker color all the way up to give it a little bit of contrast and make it feel like it's being shadowed by the petals that are overhanging. Yeah, fiery fox lilies. Well, that's definitely going to be way too dark. Let's see. This may be a detail too far, but it's always worth a try. Maybe give this up here just the tiniest adjustment. Bottom feels... yeah, so it's not quite blending just yet. Almost, though. In this mode, it looks really nice. So if we tip that just a bit further up, maybe... yeah. Yeah, we're gonna definitely try to do gradients here. You know, for, I mean, because all of these tall flowers have that quality to them. Though this one goes from light to dark at the top. Rose rocks, yellow agave, boop, 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 boop. Did I get rid of it? Oh, hey, there's the alligator skulls from yesterday. We made a cool skull hat for our desert goblins last night on the stream, so if some of you were not there for that, I could drag that over and give you a peek, see of how that's going. We definitely laid in a pretty cool base for it, and I'm excited about it. But I'm always excited about goblins, because goblins are the best. Alright. Yeah, it's a little too brown. Just gotta see, this is where the tedium of working a gradient and cubicle comes in. Sometimes it's better to just do the whole thing in one color and then just tilt the hue slider just a tiny bit. But that's also a little difficult because the hue, when you start working with the there we are. When you start working with the hue slider, you quickly discover that everything, oh hey, there we go. It turns magenta, and it's hard to tell what color things are. That might be a little bit busy. I don't know, we'll see. Oh hey, Glucky would like to see the helm because they missed the stream. Cool. So let's put this in a good place, and we'll give you guys a sneak peek of the new Goblin hat. It's kind of cool. I'm thinking that if we were to continue tearing down the colors, it would start to vibrate too much. Like it might start feeling like a checkerboard, but maybe not. I don't know. It might also make it feel kind of light and fresh. Let's see. Oh. Oh no! Get some sleep, friend. Let's see. You know what? Let's go ahead and this is kind of cute, actually. This is kind of cute. I wasn't really sure if we wanted to knock out the middles like that, but that's kind of sweet. And it adds like it feels less busy now, and it feels more it feels like more like those are petals and not just like weird steppy cubicle conglomerations. So let's grab our goblin from last night really quick, just to preview before we dig into those other guys, which we're going to color the exact same color schemes as that guy, but then we're going to take the hue slider and tilt one a little bit more yellow and one a little bit more pink. That way they pop off of each other and feel really robust and pretty. Cubicle. I'm glad you're here, but I want this now. Thank you. RC Critters. I believe it's this file. Sleep is not for the weak. Sleep is awesome. Yay! Here he is. So you can see he's wearing the beginnings of a Zilla Skull helmet. Just let him model for you. Now this is the base of it. I'm gonna be cleaning this up and adding detail to it where necessary. But yeah, he's got his little Zilla Skull war helm going on. We'd tried for a while to give him like a cool bottom jaw piece that would come down around the sides, but it wound up looking like he had like serious like old man sideburns. Oh my gosh. Sleep is not for the weak. We could all use more sleep. Yeah, super exciting. I'm very excited about getting this big teal green has to go. It's really bothering me. But I'm always very excited about anything to do with the goblins. Alright, that's way too dark. It's also blue. Secret blue. Way too... Let's start here. And go for more of a neutralized. Really let the orange shine. Alright, it's not quite dark enough yet. Maybe too far? No, that's actually pretty good. Okay. Don't want that to stick off too much. Though maybe we would want the outsides of the leaves to pop. Woo! All right. I like this flower. I think this is a good flower. Then other important stuff. Well, no, definitely take care of yourself. You don't want to wind up collapsing out of exhaustion. That's no bueno. Alright, I don't think we want that twice. That feels really busy. Not even sure it makes sense to have that part up there. But I do miss something like being up there. This is where things get like finicky and nitpicky and you're like, well, maybe it needs to be a little more like this or a little more like that. I feel like that calls too much attention to itself. Oops, not like that. We'll leave it there for now and grab this. So what I was saying before is that we're gonna take the exact same color scheme we've got going on, but we're gonna tweak it a little at the very last minute. This might be too even. Let's see. Actually, no, that works. Cool. I guess we kind of hit the zone where we want our colors to be. Oops. And sneak in there. Sneak in there. Sneak in there. Grab this. And get your slightly lighter color for... I'm not really sure if that's doing anything. It's not. Awesome. I was worried. Okay. There's that guy. And then there's our little wee friend over here. Who will get... We're going to go from light to dark on him. Maybe not make it all the way to the dark color since this is a young plant. We want it to have a little bit of a fresher color scheme. Also, that also helps like pop him out a little bit. Okay, so this one will be the yellow one and this will be the pink one. I don't know why I think so. I just do. Let's see. Maybe a dryish looking stem would look better on it. That's true, maybe. Like more of a brown, less of a green. What was I doing again? Cool, right, I wanted to mess with this really quick. Alright, brace yourself for purple. Oh, so unintuitive. Alright, so you can see I'm dragging this slider back and forth to just very slightly, and it goes a lot, like just at a -1 that's already a lot redder than the one on the right. We may not need to drag it all the way down to like a 3, but maybe a 2. How's that? So, a little bit there, a little bit further maybe. Let's take it just a touch further. This is so hard to tell. I wish there was a way to just hide that, just for a second. Let's drag it by another 2. There we go. That might be a step too far. Back up. Actually, I'm cool with it. Hang on a minute. This could be a little pinker, a little less flesh. And you are going to be the yellow variant. But very slightly, because a little yellow goes really far. There we go. It's a very small touch, but it just helps bring it to life a little bit more. Alright, I'm feeling like this part might have gotten a bit compromised, so let's tilt that just slightly back towards orange, just an itty bitty bit. It might be too much. Maybe. You know what? Better idea. Sometimes when you do like a global color change like that, it'll wind up washing out. Certain colors don't look as good at certain values as others, basically. So sometimes you have to go in and do just a little bit of tweaking. Though eventually when we drop these guys into the game, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cleanup because things generally wind up a tiny bit pinker than you might expect. Okay, that's way too showy. So like this. No, it'll be alright. The middle one maybe does look the oldest, now that I think about it. I don't know. I think it's okay that it's a little bit random. Alrighty, so about that stem color. It'd be really cool if we could just randomize them all the time. So it's like sometimes the big one would be yellowy and sometimes the middle one would be yellowy. That way if you happened upon a patch of fox lilies, it would just like sparkle visually. Give me a real good ochre. Maybe a greenish ochre. That's gonna blend in with the flower. That tips it just a bit more towards a sage green. I actually really like this lighter green underneath. Thanks, Linda. I think this will be a nice addition to our desert. Let's see, I do want to maybe see a little bit of variation in here. Little foxtails, yes! Oh, that's cute! That's a little analogy I didn't think of there. An unintentional good that has happened. Oh, it's too busy. I mean, it's kind of cool. Feels a bit more leafy. Why not? Wait, hang on. That wouldn't be, the one underneath would be darker. There you go. Forgiven. Okay. Talon would make the biggest flower the darkest ones, so if you have a field of them, you'd be like, ah, this one is ready. I mean, maybe. Let's see how it looks. So let's grab you, duplicate over. Oh man, a field of these would be super fun though. That already feels pretty satisfying. I like the height differences the most though. I think that's what it is that makes it so. That's what it is that makes it so appealing. Still gotta work out the business with the leaves. Incidentally, on the baby one, I think the leaves are done the best. So maybe on the big ones we don't have. Oh, I don't know. I might be overthinking it. It's highly possible. Zoom in. All right. So the quickest way to do this would be to cut off this one's head, duplicate this one over. Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Just give it a quick switcheroo. Alright, so we need to trade them because I'm not as big of a fan of this orientation, which is fine. We're gonna do this. Grab you like that. Does that work? Okay, yeah, that works. I was nervous for a minute because I don't think I've ever actually done that in Cubicle. Okay. No, actually, let's take it from the bottom. It'll be easier to center. There we go. Excellent. Wait, did that work? Is that... That went exactly where it was supposed to go. Wait, no, it's backwards. Poop! You go here. Yes. And you go here. There we go. Alright, so like that then. Don't forget to save your brain. You're right. Thank you for the reminder. Alrighty. You know what? I think that does actually look more satisfying. Though again, in a perfect world, it would be super cool to just randomize which one is which. I think that'd be super keen. Yeah, thanks for the suggestion. I think it helped a lot. I'm gonna cut off their leaves for a second and mess with the look of them. Because again, I really like the leaves on the base of this guy. They don't compete too much with the It's not quite as satisfying though. You know, it'll be okay. We could also like unstandardize how that looks. Like one of them's a little higher, one of them's a little lower. Like just one leaf maybe? Yeah. It looked way too organized, you're right. It didn't feel good at all. We could also do something like that. which doesn't feel quite so bad. Yeah, that's not so bad. Let's change the colors a little. Anyone have issues with the undo button while designing a building? Asks Nicaville. Sometimes, depending on what else is going on, yes, but I'm pretty sure it's a bug. I'm not sure. Nature does do some odd things sometimes. That's weird. Guess someone's walking around on the... Okay, we've got C to save our brain, and we have saved our game. No! Demago is sick! Yeah. So with the organization of the leaves, do we like them more steppy like this, or just the one layer? This flower has a name, Tayloon. This is a fox lily. And as Linda pointed out, they accidentally came out looking like little foxtails, so it works out. It was meant to be. Steppy leaves. Okay. Steppy leaves it is. Let's very carefully chop these off. Now they're floating. I'm gonna borrow these guys for a second. Just give them a copy. Oops. There. Are those centered? They're centered? Wait, they're not quite centered. Now they're centered. Yeah. I do want to see a tiny bit of a darker green just at the bottom of the base here. Or maybe through the whole stem. I don't know. Let's try it. This might feel a bit too intrusive. That's not so bad. Provides a little more contrast. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I think we could deal with that. I like it too because the value of the green is just it's now like a step below the value of the orange. So, feels better. Cool. I'm okay with that. That's not bad. Yes to darker stem. Cool. All right. I believe we have come to terms with our fox lily. So, onto our big radiant yellow sunflower. Which, considering it's a bit simpler, we may be able to knock out a bit quicker. So. Oh, did I make a part of a leaf darker? I know I did that on the smaller one to kind of indicate that one leaf is underneath the other, so that's intentional. But if one of the bigger ones is showing... Yep, you're right, there it is. Good eye. I would not have seen that until it was too late. There we go. Cool, so this is gonna be a matrix. We're gonna borrow this matrix for our sunflower. Okay, so as it turns out, Linda, did we have a name for our sunflower-like flower? We were talking about our gold flower needing something. Repurpose the fox lily. Alright, so if we're gonna have any kind of sunflower-like thing. Oh, it's backwards, no! Summer jasmine, but we can name it anything. There we go. Alright, so sunflowers are big and tall and crazy. Therefore, this sunflower needs to be big and tall and crazy. Though that is pretty cute. Just for my brain. The back would be green. This is too tiny. But it is gonna need a middle. I don't really have a yellow picked out, so I'm gonna go steal from this for now. Alright, Zanzibar has, we've got some suggestions going for our big yellow guy. Currently we've got Starflower and Ember's Rose. Can we get a blue sunflower? I didn't know blue sunflowers were a thing. I'm very excited. I love sunflowers. This is getting ridiculously huge. It always gets worse before it gets better. Heh. But only if you use blue food. Oh, not another one of those. So I had my heart broken. The first time I saw a blue orchid, I got like really super pumped about it because in my mind those were just so beautiful and so amazing, and my big sister was telling me no, those are made with food coloring, and I argued with her about that for the longest and was very embarrassed by my behavior later. I really want beautiful blue flowers to exist in that capacity. It would just make me the happiest. Uh-oh, am I at the top? I'm at the top! No! None of that. No, no, Linda, no. Too soon. Just wants to, you know, share some love with you. Ah, I see. I won't be able to have it because if I change that color, it will change the color of that voxel. This is fine. I am okay with this. This is looking dangerously circular. I liked it better when it had the paddles. Alright, we've got Raya's smile, Raya's light, Raya's sun, white roses. Welcome back, Sarandaries. Yep, we've, oh hey, yeah, we should, here's how our fox lilies turned out, and our sunflower is beginning to form. And don't worry guys, we're gonna pick out some appropriate, sunbursty yellows for our sunflower. And this little inside will look all like roughly with like color differentiations because those are like the innermost petals of the sunflower. Sunflowers are the best. Alright, I just want to mess with the overall size of these petals. Like, what if huge petals? I think this is going to be way too big, but it's still super, super fun to play. I mean, this part of it, we're just exploring. Yeah, this is like a monstrosity now. A hearthling could wear this as a hat. We are flying too close to the sun. Maybe. Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, a hearthling could totally wear this as a hat. It's too big. Hello. Oh, but it's so happy. Let's look at it side by side with a smaller mock-up. We can also bring in, because it may actually not be that big. I don't really have a hearthling to compare it to. It could. Let's import a hearthling just really quick. Anyone will do. Friend? Well, he doesn't have a head. He's also naked. Okay, that's not too big, though. I mean, for size comparison. See, I'm looking over here at the bright bells and the frost snaps, having forgotten exactly how tiny those are. Alright. Oh no! That's not what I wanted! Sorry. This is all very awkward. There we go. So, this is not actually horrendously huge. It could, in fact, be bigger. But I think what we'll try for instead is getting like a double stalk where they're like facing like this maybe. Or maybe a single stalk is all we need. The stalk at the moment is way too tiny and way too short, and our matrix needs to get bigger. By a lot. Sunflowers are supposed to be big. They're supposed to be monstrous. And happy. This is true. Or we can scale up if needed. I mean, this does make me really happy because our flowers are such, in the Ascendancy, are such like tiny, harmless, floaty fluffs. And then here we are in the desert where we've just got like this monstrosity of a sunflower. Now, the sunflower is going to give us a little bit of grief. Or maybe not. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how this is going to work out just yet. Because that feels pretty flimsy at the moment. But we also haven't decked it out in leaves. And maybe the contrast of the shape will help it. But the reason that that might give us some grief is if we wanted to make that a bigger shape, it would have to be 3 by 3, which would be way too big. Wait, no. Which would be way too big. Or, you know, maybe we can just do it like that. Yeah, why not? Why not? Nah. It'll be okay. We'll figure it out. Again, leaves will probably make a difference because sunflowers have like those huge happy leaves. It does feel very thin. We'll think of it. Yeah, but yeah, for comparison's sake, if we were to broaden this vine 3 by 3, it would be pretty chunky. It would not look very good. Yeah, that doesn't feel good at all. See, 2 would be good, but then we'd be off center. And we could reduce this down to a 4 by 4, but I like the way it looks out, so I think we're going to compromise in favor of the flower rather than the vine. Yeah, a 2 by 2 stem, like what Dougal Dude is saying is a 2 by 2 stem would be the best, but our flower is based off of a 3 by 3 box, so there'd be no way to center it. That's the only thing. Maybe it doesn't have to be centered, like maybe we could have the flowers do like this with the stem kind of going down the middle. So what I'm gonna do, oh, I like it with the height. Cause yeah, it could work, but it just doesn't feel very good at the moment. No. There we go. So yeah, for those of us that are deeply disturbed by things not being centered, look away momentarily. We could change the flower, but I like the flower. Also, I mean, the 2 by 2 stem might wind up feeling too thick. Yep, no, I think great big leaves are going to be a must. That feels weird. Yeah, I don't know. It feels kind of clunky. Let's see what happens when we start filling this thing out with leaves. Let's just go ahead and Google sunflower really quick. Yeah, they have big leaves. Google, not right now, please. Google wants to know my location. Yeah, so Google, not Google, listen to me. Sunflowers do kind of have like a little bitty stem anyway. So maybe that's really not the end of the world. But the big leaves, I think, are gonna be... Oh, this one's a cool dude. Cool dude! Yeah, once we start adding that in, it'll probably fluff it out and make it feel good. Dancing flowers! So like maybe like only at noon, if you happen to catch the sunflowers, they'll like be doing like a little dance. So actually, the leaves face up, not to the side. And they're huge. Oops, we've hit the end of the matrix. That's okay, it doesn't really need to be bigger. That's too many shapes. Maybe it does need to be bigger. And Rose is immune to fire. Oh no. Resize. What would that be? Depth? Let's go big. Meh. Obviously that would be the most leaf shape, but it's also really steppy looking. And we tend to err on the side of squares anyway. Oh, that's kind of fun. More pointy, less shovelly. Well, we could. I don't know. I don't want it to get, like, brittle and sharp looking at the end. Like, that's essentially the shape of a sunflower leaf, but it might also wind up being too refined. Because, I mean, when you look at the way we're showing the leaves, those are very stylized. They're stylized and big and clunky and huge. We're not worried about making these look like petals. We're worried about making this read sunflower. So along those lines, we want a nice, broad, strong shape that's going to work with it. We could have more diamond-shaped petals. You should bend it a little in front and make the yellow petals yeah. I think that works. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like this shape with the rest of the flower. Oh, maybe it's a little bit... Oops. Deselect. I mean, that's not so bad. I feel like that's borderlining on too many things. Maybe. We'll see. A happy leaf friend. Yes, many happy leaf friends are going to happen. Here we go. To make it concave a little. Well, we've kind of... I see what you're saying. Dragamaris, we've already kind of got that going on with making the front pop out. So like these guys, where the front parts of the inside are on the front and the petals are pushed backwards just a little bit. I like I would love to make it look more concave. So maybe we'll play with that as well. It is a cool suggestion. It's X. X is the one. Happy leaf friend! He should probably have the leaves from a ladder up the stem, rather than mirroring directly. Yeah, no, we don't want them to be like evenly spaced all the way down. That would be distressingly even. I'm also wondering if we might want to put leaves on the fronts and backs. Let's give it a little... Oops, that's not what we wanted. Or that. That was very exciting shapes. Kind of, but not really. Hang on a minute. Things are getting out of hand. Oh, there we go. No, maybe that's not gonna work. Yeah, that feels weird. It's... yeah. Not so much. Alright, never mind to that. We'll keep them going side by side by side. We can also like stick a leaf behind his head too, that might be kind of cute. Yeah, that's pretty cute. Then you could add, okay, so let's see. Surrenderies is also suggesting that we make the leaves different sizes. If you add leaves in front or in the back, add tiny leaves, yeah. Dragomyrus is asking, why don't we bend a little the rod of the flower, I mean. We could, but it might start looking kind of weak. Like if we were to give it more of an S shape going up the spine, you mean? Oh, yeah, I much prefer the thinner stem to the thicker stem now. Let's get that out of here. Oh, look, it's its very small friend. Now move the bottom leaf up one to break the pattern. I was also wondering if maybe we might, as Sir Andrews was saying, if maybe we might play with the size of the bottom leaf. Let's see. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But this might be hard to do with voxels, is the only thing. Because when we try to start doing curves and bends, we ultimately end up with something that looks steppy. So maybe having these bend down instead is what you're suggesting. We can try that. Yeah, I think I like the bottom leaf being so. Maybe the top leaf can be smaller too. That could be cute. Let's try that. Then we will try reversing the angle. Though I like them uplifted. I think it's happier. Ooh, actually, I like them at the bottom. It's cool. I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Give me that. So yeah, that's a thought. Yeah, and yeah, Dragomyrus, that is how you would do that, but it's gonna wind up looking kind of brittle if we do it that way. So like if we were to go ahead and try that out. This is what we get. So it's more realistic, but at the same time, it makes it look kind of fragile, like broken. But we can also just like reverse it so that they are flowing downward instead of upward. And also, I'm not sure if this middle piece here is necessary, but we'll figure that out. You know, better with the lower leaves being small and the upper leaves being bigger. Sure, let's give that a try. Switcheroo. Borrow you. Pay no mind to the symmetry down there for just a second. You have to beat it in a dance ballet. Battle. It's impossible. They were born to dance. Actually, yeah, I think I agree with you. Having them go from smaller to larger does feel better. We can try rotating the leaves 180 degrees. Yeah, let's give it a try. Okay, yeah, this definitely feels like a better shape than this guy over here. I'm not going to delete him just yet, though. And let's point those leaves downward, just to see if that's a better look. I'm worried it's going to make it look sad, though, is the thing. Like, I know it's technically more correct, but... Let's see. Whoops, that's not what we want. Yeah, it looks like it's sick. Also, it reversed the... Hang on, we're gonna have to do this. Hang on. We're gonna do this. No. See? Y. Okay. Traverse all these on their y-axes. That's starting to feel bulky down there. Diagonal leaves, at least one or two. I'm not really sure. I still like this better. This feels nicer to me. Yeah, the upside down leaves don't feel very good. Feels like he's bummed. And we can try rotating them. Yeah, no, that just feels weird. Yeah, so I mean, it is technically more correct for them to curve, like, to go like that. But the problem is, it's like, it still might not look as good. It's like it would have to like go up and over. Hey, Turtle Squish. Thank you. We are working on flowers today. We're trying to make the leaves point down in a way that is not brittle looking. But so far, it's proving a little difficult. Yeah, at this point, if we don't just finish the thought, it terminates in a weird way. But this looks super broken. Like, ultimately, this is more realistic, but it doesn't look as nice. Yeah, again, more realistic, but maybe not as appropriate. And it's steppy. Let's see. Yeah, this feels weird. Yeah, I think we're gonna go. I think let's go with the happier, the up flowers or the up leaves. Yeah. It's like I'm frustrated now because it's like I want to see if it's possible, but I feel like given the limitations of our medium, there's just not going to be a good way to do this without either rotating the leaves at some other point, which we can't do in Cubicle, or we wind up with like this kind of like broken, steppy look that really calls out the voxels and not really what it is they're supposed to be making. Minus the short one, but that's his little friend. Yeah, the middle one right now is my favorite. This was a good experiment, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure that that's gonna work out. What about having a second sunflower on the back, slightly lower than the first one? I agree with this. More sunflowers can never be wrong. Or maybe we can just have a couple of different sunflowers that spawn randomly and very close to each other. And that would be kind of a nice way of resolving that. Let's see. It's so cute! Yeah, I see what you're saying with the curves here in your link. This is adorable, by the way. But yeah, with Cubicle, stuff like this is really hard to make look good. Like we just don't really get natural curves like that. Oh, these are all really cute. I like the 3D perler bead look. Oh, perler beads are fun. I haven't messed with those. Random spawns are good. A bell tower flower is just like always on fire. Let's see. Do you think it would work if you make the leaf stems come up from below the leaf connected to the bottom of the leaf? Yes, maybe. I was just going for something to help the top feel... But, you know, also, what I was forgetting is it's got something underneath it. We can also just notch in the top there and do the rest with color. It's always a valid option. Those leaves are smaller, so they can do that. I don't know. It feels a little strange. Yeah. Oh wait, that needs to pop in one more because it's gonna float in not the good way. Maybe bring those in a little bit closer, actually. Let's try that. You should leave it alone. Yeah, so we do that from the back. And to what Dragomiris is asking about bending the leaf, just to kind of show that again. It's possible to do it, and it looks more realistic, but whether it looks good is kind of the bigger thing. Because again, curves get really hard to negotiate with voxels. And that feels really busy. Wait, stop, stop, stop. Oh. The silhouette from the front is cool, but when we pan out like this, it looks kind of awkward. Ooh, this friend looks like he's having a bad day. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't feel quite as clean. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. Maybe it just needs fewer things. I'm not sure that we can. We can really only move like in whole steps, and when we rotate, it's again in like a whole step. It can only go by like 90 degrees or 180 degrees. We don't really have like subtle controls over that in Cubicle. So we are a little bit limited in what we're able to do with that. If we had a higher voxel density, we could bend it a bit more slightly. Like if we had twice as many voxels per cube, we could lower it down just one. And that would look really pretty, possibly. But each one of these pixels, each one of these voxels, that's as much space as everything can move within this space. We can't move it by a half step. So if we do want to bend it, we do have to break it. And that's where we start running into problems. Cubicle is kind of rough like that. So, as you can see, we don't have more control than that. So. Yeah. I don't know, I kind of miss the stems in the middle. That's sort of pretty. Maybe if we only bend it at the break. So that's not so bad, but it still looks a little broken. If we bring back the there's also like that, but I think that's gonna... I do miss it. I do miss the protrusion, actually. Like, I feel like that does something that's very cute, whereas this feels... it doesn't feel as good. The only thing is that it gets a little bit busier. Yeah, it would need thicker leaves and that wouldn't look very good at all. So, I think we're gonna have to... That might be as good as we could get it if we want curving leaves, but I'm still not sure that that's gonna be the right look. Oh, this friend over here is really bothering me. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know about that. What do you guys think? Should we pop the edges back up? Because I'm really feeling like that looks broken. It doesn't look good. Simpler in this case is going to be better. Pro straight leaves. Same hat. Float? That might be a little awkward for this guy. I don't think he can get away with that. He's too big. Most Stonehearthy, yeah, I believe. And Stonehearth does have a very simplified kind of everything to it, so... what was that fish rock? If you put one voxel in the center above the break. Yeah, I think I got you. Was that what you meant? Because that does feel a lot better. And you're probably not really going to see underneath. Depressed sunflowers won't dance very good. I agree. Yeah. Alright. Straight leaf variety. Wondering if we need those to stick out quite so far. Well, now they kind of look like paddles, but maybe it's okay. There's something like weird about having it stick out by 2. Let's see. Where you tried to make it curve. Let's see, if you put one voxel in the center above the break. I think I see what you mean. It's hard to do with the delay. No, we did try that, and it looks strange when you see it at an angle with shadows. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna call it. We're gonna do it like there. Actually, we should probably see about wrapping it up. We've been going for about 2 hours now, and I think we've done a good bit. I mean, we've got our fox lilies and our sunflowers in a pretty good place, actually. Mainly at this point, it just needs color and detailing. So cool. Maybe next Wednesday we'll wrap that up, or maybe I'll wrap that up, and next Wednesday we'll work on the tome or the scroll. So yeah. No, it can't go for another hour. I've got to go draw other things. But this is cool because this is definitely something that we need to start getting done. Were these cool items, and these are also things that are gonna like be in the desert and make it feel more lively. So yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in, for helping out, for your feedback and suggestions. If you wrap the sunflower up, how can they dance? Says Turtle Squish. This is a valid point. We'll think about that next time, next Wednesday on Stonehearth Art Stream Times. So yeah, thanks again everybody for tuning in, and have the rest of your morning or afternoon or evening, wherever you may be, and see you guys next Wednesday bright and early.